Today I will tell you about the film Malena. June 1940. Benito Mussolini has just declared war on France, and little Renato's parents buy him his first bicycle. Jumping on his iron horse, the boy rides up to a group of older boys, begging them to let him join their team. One of them signals Malena's approach. Everyone sits down, waiting for the girl to pass by. Jumping on their bikes, the boys overtake Malena and sit down again in her path to stare at her. Malena is extraordinarily beautiful, and her mere appearance causes Renato to become wildly excited. At night, the boy cannot sleep, images of Malena spinning around in his head. In the morning, the group of boys measure their penises. One of them tells a story that once, while skipping class, he was walking past Malena's house and the girl asked him to go buy cigarettes. Her robe accidentally opened, revealing that she was wearing nothing underneath. The boy blames himself for just leaving, as he thinks it was a hint from Malena. For the first time, Renato decides to skip school. Getting on his bike, the boy goes to Malena's house and sits down in front of it. The door opens and Malena appears on the porch, asking Renato to go buy cigarettes. Handing him the money, the girl drops the coins on the ground. But these were just Renato's dreams. The boy steals his father's suit and takes it to a tailor to have it altered to fit Renato. When the boy comes home, he is scolded by his father, who has found out that Renato skipped school and stole his suit. The boy is ashamed to wear short shorts, for which his friends constantly laugh at him. Renato's father promises that as soon as someone breaks Mussolini's head, he will buy the boy pants. At night, Renato escapes through his bedroom window. When he reaches Malena's house, the boy climbs a tree whose branches grow near the walls of the girl's house. Renato pulls out one of the pegs in the shutters. Through the hole, the boy watches Malena, who is lying on her bed listening to the news on the radio, because her husband has gone to war. The next day, Renato returns at night to spy on Malena again. Putting on a record, the girl begins to dance, taking a photograph of her husband and pressing it to her chest, imagining that her husband Nina is next to her. In the morning, Renato goes to the store, where he buys the exact same record. Before going to sleep, the boy plays the same song, imagining that Malena is entering his room. He gently touches the girl, then undresses her. The gang of horny young men waits for the girl again to get a good look at her. Renato, under the pretext that he needs to leave urgently, leaves the guys and goes to the city to follow Malena. Walking down the main street, the girl catches the eyes of those around her. Continuing to follow Malena, Renato learns that the girl is visiting someone else's apartment. After school, the boy meets Malena again in the central square. The locals whisper about the girl, thinking she's a courtesan. Pulling himself together, Renato decides to go up to Malena, but she doesn't pay any attention to him. Following her, Renato finds out that Malena is going to the same apartment again. Deciding to find out who the girl is visiting, Renato climbs onto the gate and discovers that Malena is visiting her deaf father, a Latin teacher, which makes the boy very happy. At night, Renato has sex with Malena, though without her participation. The creaking springs keep her father awake, and he yells at the boy that he will soon go blind from his activities. In the morning, during group exercises, Renato learns from his friends that Malena's husband was killed in the war. At the central square, where this news is announced to all residents, expressing sympathy for Malena, Renato goes to Malena's father's apartment. Climbing onto the balcony, the boy notices a girl lying on the bed and mourning the death of her husband. Entering the room, Renato sits down next to Malena and kisses her on the lips, promising to always be there for her. After Nino's funeral, various rumors about Malena begin to spread throughout the city. Defending the girl, Renato plays tricks on those who spread the rumors. Arriving at Malena's house, the boy steals her panties, which are drying after washing. After thoroughly lubricating the springs on the bed with oil, Renato spends the whole night having sex with an imaginary Malena. In the morning, Renato's father enters the room and discovers women's panties on his son's face. The man punishes his son by locking him in his room and nailing the window shut. After several days of hunger strike, a doctor arrives at Renato's house. After examining the boy, he recommends letting Renato out into the street, as the boy needs fresh air. Arriving at Malena's house on his bicycle, Renato notices strange behavior among the men in town. The courtship games for Malena's heart have begun. At school, during Latin class, the teacher, Malena's father, receives an anonymous letter saying that his daughter is sleeping with the whole town. At night, Renato rushes to the girl's house, where Malena is spending time with a military officer. The officer insists on another meeting, because it has been 10 months since Malena's husband's funeral. Leaving the girl's house, the officer meets a local dentist who is on his way to Malena to propose marriage. A fight breaks out between them over the girl's heart, which Renato watches. The dentist's wife stops the fight, beating her husband and accusing Malena of promiscuity. By morning, rumors are spreading throughout the city that the girl has 2 lovers. When Malena goes to her father's house, she cannot enter the apartment because her father has changed the locks on the doors, not wanting to see his daughter because of the anonymous note. Malena is to be tried for her relationship with the dentist, which caused the doctor's family to break up. The girl turns to a lawyer for her defense. When asked by the judge whether the dentist spent evenings with Malena, the girl says that they met once, which causes an uproar in the courtroom. However, according to Malena, the dentist was at her place for no more than 5 minutes, as he was only bringing medicine for her deaf father. As for the lieutenant Malena was seeing, the officer was transferred to Albania because of his relationship with the girl. Before that, he was questioned, where he said that his meetings with Malena were purely friendly and nothing immoral happened during them. In his speech, the lawyer says that Malena is only guilty of being beautiful. Because of this, everyone envies her and spreads gossip behind her back. At night, Renato goes to the observation post again. Celebrating justice, the lawyer dances with Malena, after which he begins to pester the girl. Malena hands him money, but he throws it away, saying that his services are worth much more, begging the girl to marry him and starting to pull her clothes off. Renato is unable to watch, as the branch he is standing on breaks. After that, Malena stops appearing on the street altogether. Rumors are circulating in town that Malena is preparing to marry a lawyer, and the young man cannot understand how she agreed to this. After all, this hog never washes and smells worse than a pig. The lawyer goes to his mother to get her blessing to marry Malena, but the woman sends him away, not wanting this slut to bear her husband's surname. The time comes when Renato finally buys pants. At this time, rumors are spreading around town again that Malena and the lawyer's marriage is over. After following the girl again, Renato finds out that she is dating a local man who brings Malena food, since no one in town will sell her groceries or hire her. The man wants payment in kind for the bag of flour and bread, but an enemy air raid forces everyone to hide from the bombing. Malena's father's body is pulled from the rubble of the destroyed house. After the funeral, Renato goes to watch the girl again. At night, a car pulls up to her house. One of the locals brings Malena cigarettes and coffee, for which the girl gives herself away. The man promises to come every Tuesday, and Malena asks him not to forget to bring food. In the morning, the girl appears in the central square. She has cut her long hair and dyed it brown, which makes her even more beautiful. She sits down at a table and takes out a cigarette, immediately gathering men around her who ask for a light. Renato imagines how he saves Malena from these natives. After a while, the boy notices Malena in the company of German officers. Imagining how the girl is serving the Wehrmacht officers, Renato loses consciousness. The boy's mother believes that a demon has possessed Renato, so she invites exorcists to drive the spirit away, but the boy's father is convinced that Renato is simply growing up and needs a woman. The man takes Renato to a brothel, where all the girls remind him of Malena. Among them, he notices one who immediately catches his attention. To the sound of explosions, the boy becomes a man. The Allies are welcomed in the city's central square. Now that the city has been liberated from the Germans and collaborators, the women decide to take revenge on Malena. They drag her out into the square and beat her, then cut off her hair. After mocking Malena, they chase her away. Following her, Renato discovers that Malena is leaving the city. Sometime later, Nino, Malena's husband, who was supposedly killed in the war, arrives. Nino lost his arm and was then taken prisoner. Now, having returned to the city, the officer cannot find his wife, and no one can tell him what happened, while refugees have already settled in their house. Climbing the familiar tree, Renato throws a letter to Nino, telling him that Malena had been faithful to him all along. A lot has happened in her life, but all this time Nino was believed to be dead. According to Renato, the girl left for Messina, that's all he knows. Nino boards a train and sets off to find her. Exactly 1 year passes. Life in the city is bustling as usual, but all the residents freeze when they see Malena and her husband Nino in the central square. Renato's girlfriend doesn't understand why everyone is staring at Malena. Malena goes to the local market. The women who beat her up a year ago decide to talk to her, greeting her. Malena greets them in return. At that moment, the women offer the girl vegetables at a good discount, and someone even hands Malena a jacket, suggesting that she pay for it when she has the money. Renato appears and starts following her again. Malena heads home but drops her bag, spilling fruit everywhere. Renato runs up to her, helps her pick everything up, and wishes her happiness with all his heart. That's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching.